One of those tracks came off the skid steer, one came off of the excavator. So I'm going to put those into the garden for Shelly to use as raised beds. And then one of them we'll make a compost pile out of. I just loaded them on the trailer. I want to bring them around because she's got to start planting in like 2 weeks. And I need the trailer tomorrow. Go get some cattle gates so I can drag the pastures so I can spread some clover because it needs to go down now.
Hey, how are you going to get out?
Everybody has these little gardening tools, right?
Right.
Back up. Back up. That's good. It's all in. Okay.
Kind of like stomping grapes,
That'll grow some taters, I bet you.
right?
Go get the next log.
And we tried to set this up as our compost pile, but you can see the chickens have spread it like 20 feet out. So we're going to pull these poles out, pull that plastic fencing out from around there, and use the last track from the excavator as a compost pile. You need to be taller.
You have to like hold it all the way up here.
Let the old man show you how to get it done.
Get a picture of his muscles.
Whoa.
And the blisters on his arm.
Swimming like a girl.
Bam! I can't go straight up here. Is that such an odd angle? I'm like, oh.
So here's the track set up with the compost pile. We filled that up pretty quickly. We cleaned out the goat pen and the cow pen. So we've just covered that. We're gonna let that sit. We'll turn it and wait for that to turn to mulch. So we went ahead and built another one right next to it so we could start composting all the fresher stuff in that one. The ducks are out in the pond. Here comes Mo. Bath toys. No, I think he's getting his stick. He doesn't care about the ducks. What a beautiful day. There's the latest pile of trees up there that Miami's been taking down. He's been using those trees to make the mulch with the chipper for the road. Today I'm going to get the rest of my seeds started. I was told by my neighbors that I was woefully behind. She's already gotten her tomatoes and her peppers and everything else going. And I checked the Mayan calendar and they say it's a good day to start seeds. So we're going to be inside today because it's a little chillier and it's kind of rainy and it's really windy. And I've tried doing this out in the wind before and I end up with most of my seeds scattering in the wind. I've pre-wet my soil. I'm using some really good potting soil that I got from our local greenhouse. I really recommend that you pre-wet your soil. It just helps with the germination of the seeds, keeping the soil moister longer, and it just helps to keep your seeds in place. So if you're planting them in dry soil or dry potting soil, and then you add water to it, a lot of times your seeds will either float up or sink way down. And I talked about this on a previous video. Last year I planted, I don't know, 8, 10 different variety of tomatoes. Some of them I really didn't like. And I think I planted somewhere between 20 and 30 tomato plants. So way too many. I ended up giving a lot to the neighbors, a lot to the compost pile, a lot to the chickens. So this year I'm only going to plant 5 varieties. I'm going to plant the San Marzanos, the Romas, and some Amish paste. I love these 3 tomatoes for making tomato sauce, salsa, anything that you need like that rich body tomato pasty stuff for, tomato juice. And then for slicing tomatoes, because who doesn't like a tomato sandwich in the summer, I'm going to do some beefsteaks and I'm going to do some Carolina yellows. I love yellow tomatoes. Last year it was really disappointing. The yellow tomatoes I planted were almost bitter. And then I'm going to start just a couple of sweet peppers as well. The past 2 days, it's been 80 degrees and sunny, so I've spent a lot of time in the garden. Miami and Ryan put in some raised beds for me. They put in some trellises for me. So the past 2 days, I've been getting the rest of the soil ready. Unfortunately, we had to till it because of he had the big machines in there and it kind of made a mess. So I hate tilling, but we went ahead and tilled it so we could get it flat again. The strawberries are ready to go. 90% of the strawberries are ready to go. I went through and weeded those really well, cleaned out all the dead stuff from last year, and then I cleaned out the chicken coop. And so I took all of that mulch and chicken manure and put that around the strawberry plants. So they're ready to go. So let's start with the Amish pasties. Better put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to put 1 seed in each hole, because I'm only going to plant about 12 or 14 tomato plants this year. You don't want to put your seeds too deep. The rule of thumb that I heard was you don't plant your seeds deeper than the size of the seed themselves. I don't know if that's true or not. And then I'm just going to kind of cover the hole, tamp it down. I love being back and working in the dirt. And I love starting seeds. There's something magical about starting seeds. This one little seed can make this huge plant and feed your family for a year. And then I'm going to mark this. I usually use popsicle sticks, but I am out. So I've got some painter's tape. And these are my Amish. I have found that the tape comes off sometimes, so hopefully it won't. It'll stay nice and stuck. All right, so there's the Amish. Let's do the Romas next. And I always trade seedlings with my neighbor. So that's why I'm planting a couple of extra right here. I think last year I got the cherry tomatoes from her, which I'm not going to plant this year because I'm the only one who likes the cherry tomato plants. And I swear one of those tomato plants took up half the garden. It was huge. And I highly recommend you mark your seeds right away. Can't tell you how many times I've planted seeds and be like, oh, I'll come back and do it later. And then I have not a clue what's coming up. And these are the San Marzanos. These trays are a little longer and narrower, so I may put one on each end here. I don't know, I don't think you can ever have too many beefsteak tomatoes. And I'd love to hear what everybody else's favorite tomato is. All right, and one more, my Carolina Yellows. And I don't have one particular place where I get my seeds from. I'm a seed junkie, so every time we go into a new hardware store, which my husband's always going into hardware stores, or lumber yards, or places that have the seeds, I'm always checking out the seed shelves, see what they've got. Like I said, I'm only going to plant 2 pepper plants. We don't eat a lot of peppers. We do use them in the tomato sauce and the salsa. And I also like a stuffed pepper every once in a while with some cream cheese, pepper jack cheese, and everything bagel spice. That's really yummy. Peppers. You know, I've got my mic on right now, so I don't know if you can hear all the birds outside. We've got some of the windows open. I think they're very happy it's spring as well. And I'm going to cover the whole thing with cling wrap, my least favorite thing in the whole wide world to work with. Alrighty dighty. And the last thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to start some calendula in a pot. I did start some other spices. I started some apple mint in a pot, and I'm going to leave it in the pot because, as everybody knows, mint can be very invasive. There's something in the garden, it's some type of spearmint that I've been working diligently at trying to get that all pulled out of the garden, because last year it took over like 1/8 of the garden where it was coming up. So I'm trying to get that out of there. So any kind of mint that I put in, I'm going to put it in a container and put it in the ground to keep it contained. All right, let's go put this up under the grow light.
We really appreciate you guys, and please hit the buttons and have a wonderful spring.